it's almost November, which means NaNoWriMo is coming up. And so last year I worked on Walk to the Whisper, and this year I'm going to work on Insanity Stained Red. So I've previously started this book a couple of times, but I'm still not quite happy with how it's turning out. So Nano, I'm going to get the first draft completely done and stop fiddling around with it so much. And I'm going to start it over again. But this time, okay, the main character, I've forgotten what her name is, but I call her Red. Anyway, so Red will start with Red at school. Now she actually goes to a public school, whereas before I had her home tutored or whatever. But in this version, her father trusts her enough to let her go to public school because he's got her like manipulated Stockholm syndrome and everything. So the story of Red is like this chick who was raised in a cult, and she's a serial killer because that's the way she was raised and that's what she knows. So yeah, like I said, it starts at school. She's a bit of an outcast, blah blah blah. She ends up getting expelled because she sleeps with a couple of teachers to, get her grades up and whatnot, because that's what she knows. And I mean, all this while she's being constantly abused at home, so I'll have to, put in those darker bits without flashbacks this time. So I figured that's easier starting like this when she's younger. But yeah, so she gets expelled from school, and they send someone, to her home to check out why she would do such a thing, and because, sleeping with teachers is so wrong. So, and that person who goes to the home kind of finds out about what's happening there and the cult and everything that's going on. And then they get killed because the father's a psycho. But the cops find out somehow because maybe they've reported it to the cops, or I don't know. Anyway, so the cops raid the place, destroy the cult, and one of the police people finds Red and adopts her as his own daughter kind of thing. And so that goes alright for a while, but then she figures that he wants the same sort of thing from her, so she tries to sleep with him, and he teaches her the error of her ways and tries to make her good and whatnot. Gonna go with the end of the story. She ends up in the mental asylum because the policeman figures that he can't help her in the end. So she goes to the mental asylum, and the actual end can go with what was the first chapter in the last draft. So her escaping from the mental asylum will be the end of this story instead of the start. But yeah, so at her home, Red, she's got Stockholm syndrome, so she participates in all these cult rituals and kills people and, helps torture the other girls and stuff. But at the same time, she has a bit of empathy within her that allows her to understand that what they're doing is wrong. And though she enjoys a lot of it, she still wants to protect the other girls, especially the younger ones and that. So she steps in and helps them and takes a lot of the fall for them. And they don't realise this, so they hate her because they think that she's just like her father and whatnot. But then there's one girl who Red is friends with. I think I was going to call her Rose or something. And she's really close to Red because she's seen what Red does for them and the after effects and how it lashes back onto her. So she tries to help, and then Red eventually tries to help Rose escape, and Rose gets caught and killed. And that's what helps Red get turned against her father, so she helps the policeman to take them down. Yeah, I'm a bit confused with that. But yeah, for the main part, so the girls hate Red, and the father's still raping her and beating her and stuff, but she steps in with one scene when the father's attacking one of the girls, Red steps in and draws his attention to her and tries to seduce him and blah blah blah. So, but then he goes with that for then, and then later on he goes to her and punishes her because he realises that that's what she's done and lessens the blow for the other girls. And it kind of goes around in this big circle and everything. But yeah, the main points, so main points are Red is getting tortured and raped and everything at home by her father, and his cult, she's helping them with their rituals and what satanic sort of stuff, although it's not actually Satan, it's another god worshipping. Anyway, and then so she goes to school, public school, And then the cops find out because she's expelled, blah blah. Cops find out and break up the cult. She's adopted by a cop. She's sent to a different public school. This is where she meets Larry, by the way, because Larry is one of my favourite characters. I want him to be in this story. So that's where she meets Larry, after the second school with the cop. Yep. And then the cop realises that she is crazy after all and sends her to a mental institution. Larry never finds out her bad side though, because she really likes him too. And then, yeah, she breaks out of the mental institution and leave it open for a second story. I mean, obviously the plot is a lot more work, but that's it for now. And considering I've still got 22 days until November and NaNoWriMo starts, that's a good start. Alright, that's it. See yous.